One of the another important chapter is EMI, which means that electromagnetic induction. In this chapter, we are going to discuss how electric field is going to be induced or produced by changing the magnetic field. This concept we are going to discuss here. And before going to that, and I'm going to give some experimental observations and the results. Experimental observation, for suppose here is the magnetic field, this is the magnetic field. The magnetic field, this cross symbol represents that the field is acting inward, which we already discussed, and the dot symbol represents that the field is acting outward. Here the magnetic field is acting inward, and there is a loop, closed loop, which we placed in the external magnetic field. For suppose, let's consider that the magnetic field is increasing. If the magnetic field which is acting inward is increasing, then we observe that there is a current induced in the loop. The current induced in the loop. Whenever there is a change in the magnetic field, which results into a induction of current in the loop. Some more experimental observations which I am going to explain now. For suppose this is a magnetic field acting inward, magnetic field, for suppose whole this is plane total representing that magnetic field only. Here I am taking a loop, this is a loop, and I am considering that the magnetic field which is acting is constant magnetic field, but the loop which I placed in the external magnetic field had a variable area, means area is changing. When area is changing, in this case also we observe that there is a current in the loop. Current is generating by changing its area when it placed in an external magnetic field. Now for suppose I am taking one more loop which also placed in the this uniform magnetic field. Uniform magnetic field means constant magnetic field only. Uniform magnetic field, and I am considering that the area is constant here. Area is constant, B is constant, and area is also constant. So now in this case we observe that, and there is a rotation. There is a rotation means the loop is rotating in a clockwise direction. Though the loop is rotating in a clockwise direction, in this particular orientation means the magnetic field is acting inward. And the area of the loop is constant. Area of the loop is constant means the angle between magnetic field and the area is constant. Angle is constant if the loop is rotating in this particular case. Theta is constant, B is constant, A is constant, and experimentally we observed that there is no current in the loop. In this case there is no current in the loop. And the final situation, I am taking one more loop where the field is uniform, nothing but constant field, and the area of the loop is also constant. And there is an axis. The loop is rotating in this particular direction. So when the loop is rotating in this particular direction, then the angle between field and the area vector is changing. Angle is changing. Experimentally they proved that the current is going to be generated. So from this all, it is very clearly understood that there is an induced current. Current is going to be generated if there is a change in magnetic field, or there is a change in area, there is a change in area, or there is a change in angle between field and area. So these three factors. If the field linked with the loop is changing, which results into generation of current in the loop. If the area of the loop which is placed in an external magnetic field is changing, then there be a current induced in the loop. If the angle between magnetic field and area vector is changing, then there be a current. So this point is very clearly understood that experimentally they proved that whenever there is a change in magnetic field, then there be a current in the loop. If area of the loop which is placed in an external magnetic field is changing, then also current is inducing. Angle between field and area is changing, then also current is going to be induced. And one of the very important concept which we need to remember, that it is the factor or the parameter or else the parameter or quantity which depends on magnetic field induction, comma area vector, and angle between area vector and this magnetic field induction is magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is similar to, before going to that magnetic flux, we have to recall that point, that it is electric flux. Electric flux means we already know that one, closed integral of E vector dot area vector. This results into what? Electric flux. In the same way, magnetic flux equals to closed integral of electric field intensity replaced by magnetic field intensity, and area vector is common. That nothing but pi equals to B vector dot A vector, which we can also write it as BA cos theta. It means one of the point which we need to remember, that it is dot product of two vectors always results into a scalar, such that magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. Magnetic flux is a scalar quantity. It is a scalar quantity. And another important point, area is a vector quantity. Area is a vector quantity which we already discussed in Gauss law. And area vector is always acts perpendicular to the surface. Always act perpendicular to the surface. And there are two types of surfaces which we already know, that one, open surface and closed surface, which we discussed very clearly in Gauss law. For open surface, the area vector always act radially, not radially. For open surface, for suppose square is there, square shaped lamina, this is a open surface. For this open surface, the area vector always act outward, normal to this surface, outward and normal to this surface. Closed surface means cube or cuboid. For this closed surface, we will consider that area vector for each and every surface, and finally we have to calculate the flux linked with this closed surface also. So this is about brief points which we have to recall about this area vector. Area is a vector quantity which always acts perpendicular to the surface, and the physical quantity which depends on magnetic field induction and area vector and angle between area vector and field induction named as a flux, that it is named as magnetic flux. Magnetic flux defined as the dot product of field induction and area vector. So these two vectors, the dot product of these two vectors is a scalar, such that the magnetic flux is a scalar quantity, and this is one of the important point. And next one point we need to remember, that it is here, whenever there is a change in field or area or angle between them, the changes in these parameters results into current in the loop. Nothing but these three parameters results into flux. It means whenever there be a change in the flux linked with any closed loop, that results into a current in the loop. This is the point which we need to what to conclude? So that it is, if there be a change in the flux linked with any loop, then there be a current which is going to be generated or induced in the loop. This is the important point. And we have to discuss what is the flux. And flux, it is a scalar quantity. Already we got this point. And second thing, flux pi equal to B vector dot A vector, or we can also write it is BA cos theta. And SI unit of flux is Weber, which equals to Tesla meter square. Weber equal to Tesla meter square, and Tesla equal to Weber per meter square. Tesla equal to Weber per meter square. That also need to remember, very important. And dimension formula of the flux equal to dimension formula of B into dimension formula of A. We already know that dimension formula of B equals to M L0T minus 2 A minus 1. Sir, how we wrote this one? This already we know that one. From Lorentz force equation, F equals to ILB sin theta, we can write. F dimension formula is MLT power minus 2, and which we can I is A, L is L, B we don't know for suppose, L get cancelled, then B dimension formula equal to M L0T minus 2 A minus 1. Very simple. So this is the dimension formula of B, which is very important. Very important. Many number of times I told this one. Magnetic field induction, dimension formula of magnetic field induction, M1 L0 T minus 2 A minus 1. And another important point here it is, the magnetic flux dimension formula is M1 L0 T minus 2 A minus 1. And this is about, this is what flux dimension formula of the flux. And next, for suppose I am going to give one example, that it is, I am taking one loop. This is a loop. For this loop, the magnetic field lines are moving in this way. Now the question is, what is the flux here? We have to remember one point. This is a open surface. For this, area vector is outward. This is area vector outward. It acts like this. Area vector is outward. So area vector is outward. The direction which is perpendicular to the plane will be perpendicular to everything which present on the plane. Nothing but this area vector is perpendicular to field induction or field lines. Now the angle between B and A is 90 degrees. So that is why pi equal to BA cos 90, which equals to 0. BA cos 90 value is 0, so 0 into something is also equal to 0, and this one. Next, another example I am going to give, that it is, there is a loop which we place like this, which we placed in this direction. For suppose the loop is placed like this. This is a loop. The loop is placed like this, and here this area vector is acting in this direction. This is area vector. Now the magnetic field lines are moving in this case. In this case, the field lines are making an angle 37 degrees with the radius. Now what is the flux? This is the case. So here we need to remember one point. Pi equal to BA cos theta. But the theta is the angle between B and A. Here, this is the field lines representing the direction of magnetic field induction, and this one is the area vector. Now the angle between area vector and field induction is not 37 degrees, is 53 degrees. So pi equal to BA cos 53. Cos 53 value is 3 by 5 into B into pi r square. Area of the circular surface is pi r square. So this is about this flux linked with this particular closed surface. And one more thing here. Now for suppose one more example, third example I am going to give. Here they given a closed loop. This is a closed surface. Now what is the flux linked with this closed surface if the field lines are moving like this? These are the field lines. What is the flux linked with this one? This surface, this top one and bottom one are perpendicular. Area vector of top surface, area vector of bottom surface and front one and back one are perpendicular to the field line. So the flux by them is 0. Similar, just same like Gauss law concept only, electric field. And here this surface and this surface, field lines are linked with these two surfaces, but here field lines are entering, so the flux is positive. Here the field lines are leaving this closed surface, so the flux is negative. Both the values are equal, so the net flux equal to 0. Here area vector is this one, area vector, and this is field lines. Then minus BA here plus BA you will get, then the total flux equals to 0. Now one more example, that it is example 4. That example 4 I am going to give. This is very important, by which you can understand. I am taking a loop. This is the loop. The magnetic field is acting into the plane as by representing. Now what is the flux linked with the loop? So basically everyone will consider that pi equal to BA cos theta. Here theta is 0. Then BA, if the radius of this loop is r, then most of the people they will write to B pi r square, which is wrong. Why? Because pi equals to BA cos theta is the formula, where A is the area in the loop, where magnetic field is present. Area in the loop where magnetic field is present. Area in the loop where magnetic field is present is what? Half of the circle only here. So that the pi equals to BA by 2, nothing but B pi r square by 2. This is the magnetic flux linked with this loop in this case. And for suppose one more case, one more example I will give about flux. This is outer loop, and here there is an inner loop. Okay, and inner loop radius is A, outer loop radius is B. Inner loop radius is A, outer loop radius is B. The magnetic field is present like this. This is the magnetic field. So now the question is, what is the flux linked with outer loop? This one. What is the flux linked with outer loop? Flux linked with outer loop equals to BA. Here theta is 0, so cos 0, that it is. So here one of the important point. A means area of the loop in which magnetic field is present. For this outer loop, the area in which magnetic field is existing is pi a square but not pi b square, such that flux linked with outer loop equal to B into pi a square. This is the one. So one of the very important point which you need to remember, that it is pi equal to BA cos theta. It is a scalar quantity, and A means area of the loop, area in the loop where magnetic field is present. This is the important point which we need to remember. So hope you got clear idea about the flux, that it is magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is a quantity which what basically here one more question will arise, that it is, what is the general meaning of the flux? Flux meaning is count of number of field lines, count of number of field lines crossing the area, crossing the area. Magnetic flux general meaning is count of number of field lines crossing the area. Count of number of field lines crossing the area is nothing but representation of, it is the representation of magnetic energy, representation of magnetic energy. So this is magnetic flux. Magnetic flux general meaning is count of number of field lines, and it is the representation of magnetic energy. So this is the one, this is about the magnetic flux. And next we are going to discuss that how the flux is going to be changed, how the flux is going to be changed. Before going to discuss about the change in flux, we have to remember one most important point, that it is for a very important equations, for very important equations. First one, we already know that one, closed integral of E vector dot dA vector. Where we got this one? This we got in Gauss law. So in Gauss law, according to Gauss law, the closed integral of E vector dot dA vector equal to electric flux, which means that total charge within the surface by epsilon naught, means 1 by epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed by the loop. So this is about the first equation, which is very very important. Everyone has to remember this one. And the second one, for closed loop, E vector dot dl vector. Do you have any idea about E vector dot dl vector? E vector dot dl vector represents that electric potential. We already discussed that it is that the case potential equal to dE by dr. We discussed this one. Sorry, E equal to dV by dr we discussed, and I told in the field or in a three-dimensional region, E vector equal to dou V by dou x I cap plus dou V by dou y j cap plus dou V by dou z k cap. This already we discussed this one. And in the same way, potential equal to integration of E vector dot dl, because potential is a scalar quantity, so that is why we are taking here dot product. And next one, but one of the very important point, electric potential means what? This is potential difference. For suppose electric potential difference, this symbol meaning is closed loop. Closed loop means what? For suppose this is a closed loop which is independent of shape of the loop, just has to be closed. Let you consider the starting point is A. So starting point is A means end point is also at A only. It means for a closed loop, potential difference for a closed loop, potential difference means potential at A minus potential at A. Potential at A minus potential at A is nothing but 0. So one of the very 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 important point, that it is the closed integral of E vector dot dl vector equal to electric potential or potential difference for closed loop, which is 0. And the third equation which we need to remember, that it is the same closed loop B vector dot dl vector. Same, this is also closed loop. For a closed loop, B vector dot dl vector equals to, we can write it is mu naught times the total current enclosed by the loop, which is named as Ampere's circuit law. Ampere's circuital law. According to Ampere's circuital law, closed integral of B vector dot dl vector equal to mu naught times of the total current enclosed by the loop, which we already discussed in magnetism chapter. And the fourth one, that it is closed integral of B vector dot dA vector. Closed integral of B vector dot dA vector equal to 0. Why it is 0, sir? This is important. Closed integral of B vector dot dA vector equal to 0, which is the mathematical proof which represents that magnetic field lines are closed loop. Magnetic field lines are closed loops, that is nothing but monopoles never exist, sir. Monopoles never exist. Monopoles never exist, nothing but the field lines which are forming a closed loop. B vector dot dA vector is always equal to 0. This is the evidence that the magnetic field lines are forming closed loops. Closed loops means, for suppose if you are taking this is a plane, for the closed loop, for this plane, for the closed loop, for this plane, field lines entering and leaving are equal. So that is the way closed integral of B vector dot dA vector is equals to 0. These four equations are very, very important. One is closed integral of E vector dot dA vector equal to Q in by epsilon naught. This is the basic principle of and the statement of the Gauss law. And the closed integral of E vector dot dl vector equal to electric potential difference for a closed loop, nothing but potential at A minus A equal to 0. And closed integral of B vector dot dl vector equal to mu naught times of the total current enclosed by the loop, which is independent of shape of the loop. So this is which is the statement of Ampere's circuital law. And this one, closed integral of B vector dot dA vector equal to 0, which means that magnetic field always forming the field lines are closed loops and the monopoles are never exist. This is the best simple lines which we need to remember. Now comes to the present going topic, that it is, now you all got a clear idea about magnetic flux. After getting that magnetic flux, and the name of the chapter is electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction and experimental proof is that whenever there is a change in the flux linked with the loop, which results into the current in the loop, which induces the current in the loop, nothing but we have to discuss about change in flux. Change in flux results into what's our current. So here we had two aspects. That is, change in flux induces the current in the loop. Then the two aspects which we need to discuss is, one is magnitude of current. What's our magnitude of current? It means what is the magnitude of current in the loop, means how much current is going to be generated or how much current is going to be produced. Next, a basic principle and the simple point, that it is current always flows from high potential to low potential. It means that direction of the current. What is the direction of the current? So here we had two aspects. One is direction of the current and second one is magnitude of the current. For direction of the current we are using Lenz law. Which law, sir? Lenz law. We are using Lenz law to determine the direction of current. And we are using Faraday's law to determine the magnitude of current. So basically The change in the flux linked with the loop will result into our generating the current in the loop. So we had two aspects. Current had both magnitude and direction. So to determine the direction of current, we are using Lenz law. To determine the magnitude of current, we are using Faraday's law. So now first I am going to explain about Lenz law. What is Lenz law? Lenz law. Okay. So Lenz law, for that again I am considering the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field. Magnetic field. Magnetic field. I am taking a loop, closed loop. Magnetic field is acting inward. Consider that the magnetic field is increasing. Magnetic field is increasing. The current is going to be induced in the loop not because of that field is acting inward, because of the field which is acting inward is increasing. Means there is an increase in the field which is acting on the loop. Okay, there is a current inducing in the loop only because of the increasing of magnetic field which is acting inward. So here Lenz law states that current always induced current flows in a direction, induced current flows in a direction such that induced current flows in a direction such that it tries to oppose the cause, which has produced it, Induced current flows in a direction such that it tries to oppose the cause which has produced it. Induced current always flows in a direction such that it tries to oppose the cause which has produced it. I will explain very clearly. You see, a simple thing, current is going to be induced in this loop because of the increasing of magnetic field. So nothing but the flux linked with the loop is changing, which results into inducing the current. Flux is changing, nothing but what? Magnetic energy associated with the loop is changing. Magnetic energy associated with the loop is changing, which results into a current in the loop. But that current always flows in a direction so that it tries to oppose the cause which has produced it. Means here current is producing because of increasing of the magnetic field. So basic principle which we already discussed, that current will produce magnetic field around it. The induced current will produce magnetic field. The magnetic field due to induced current always oppose the external changes. That's nothing but your magnetic field is increasing. So induced magnetic field should always oppose this increasing. It acting inward and increasing. So in order to decrease, in order to oppose this change, the induced magnetic field will act outward. Why it has to act outward? Because here inward field is increasing. If induced field acting outward, then inward field is going to be reduced or decreased, such that the current will flows in anti-clockwise direction. If current is in anti-clockwise direction, then the field due to induced current will act outward. Nothing but it opposing the increasing in the magnetic field which is acting inward. So here induced current is acting in anti-clockwise direction. So now I will give one more example by which you can understand very clearly. For suppose here is the current. This is a current carrying wire. Current is moving in downward direction and current is decreasing. I am taking one loop here. Current is moving downward. Use right hand rule. So when right hand rule is there, as current is in this downward direction, the field is acting inward. Field is acting inward. The field which is acting inward on this loop is because of this current. That field B, current is decreasing means field also decreasing. The field which is acting inward is decreasing. The field which is acting inward is decreasing. So induced current is in a direction. Induced current is in a direction such that the field due to induced current must oppose this one. Must oppose this one means it is acting inward and decreasing. Inward and decreasing. Decreasing field inward. Oppose means increase. Increase means induced field also should act inward. Then the total net field is going to be increase such that the current will be in clockwise direction. Induced current is in clockwise direction. Again I am explaining very clearly. The magnetic field associated with this closed loop is decreasing by acting inward. Is decreasing by acting inward. As the field which is linked with the loop is decreasing by acting inward, induced current is in a direction such that it should oppose the external cause. Oppose the external cause means externally field is decreasing, so the induced current will be in a direction such that the field is going to be increased. Net field has to be increased. Net field has to be increased means we need to add extra field to this one. That means induced field is also acting inward. For that purpose, current is acting in clockwise direction. I will give one more example, that it is third example. Let you see, you can understand. For suppose I am taking a circular loop in which current is moving in this direction, which is increasing, and I am taking one more loop around it. One more loop around it. So let use right hand rule. This current is upward, so the field is acting inward here. Inward. Current is increasing, so the field which is acting is also increasing. Field is increasing means induced current is in a direction. Means induced field must act outward. Outward means the current will be in anti-clockwise direction. Induced current is in anti-clockwise direction. And next one more example I will give, that it is, you are taking, I am taking a closed loop which is placed in external magnetic field. Is placed in external magnetic field. For suppose field induction, the magnetic field acting inward is decreasing. Acting inward is decreasing means induced field also should act inward only, because here inward field is decreasing. To oppose that one, induced field should act inward, so the net field is going to be increase. So inward it acting, induced field is acting inward. Induced field is acting inward means current will flows in clockwise direction. Hope you understood very clearly. Now one more example. Like for suppose you see here, I am taking circular loop. In this current is moving in anti-clockwise direction. This is current. There is a loop inside this one. So the field due to external circular coil, the field produced by the current in the external circular coil act outward. Right hand rule, act outward. Let you consider the current is increasing here. The field associated with this one is also increasing. The field associated with this one also increasing means induced field should act inward. Induced field should act inward means the current, induced current will be in clockwise direction. Clockwise direction. Now one more example I am going to give. For suppose here is the magnetic field, here is the magnetic field, this is the magnetic field. Now I am taking one circular loop. This is a circular loop which enter into the field with a velocity v. So in this case you observe that when it is entering into the magnetic field, for suppose CC, when it is entering into magnetic field, then the flux linked with this coil is increasing. Flux linked with this coil is increasing means magnetic field is increasing. Magnetic field is increasing by acting inward, so induced field must act outward. Must act outward means current is in anti-clockwise direction. One point. Next, when the same coil is moving with the same constant velocity v, but it is there within the loop, the field here is inward, 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 here is inward. When it is moving from point A to the point B, when it is moving from point A to the point B, in between means from A to B, though it had a velocity in the field, but the flux linking with the loop is not going to be changed, such that in this case current equal to 0. So one of the very important point which you have to remember that if any closed loop is moving in uniform magnetic field, then flux linked with that loop is constant. If any closed loop is moving in uniform magnetic field, then the flux linked with that loop is constant. It means that delta pi equals to 0, which results into that current is also 0. Now let comes to this point. If this same circular loop is going to be leave the magnetic field, with the same velocity, when it is leaving the magnetic field, it is coming out of the magnetic field. Means the flux linked with the loop is decreasing. It nothing but magnetic field is decreasing by acting inward. Magnetic field is decreasing by acting inward means current will be in a direction such that net field has to increase. Means the induced field should act inward. Inward means the current is in clockwise direction. So beta, one point is very clear here. At this particular position, current is in anti-clockwise direction because the flux is increasing. At this point, current is 0 because one of the important point that it is, what is that point, that though the object is moving, but the object is moving in uniform magnetic field. Uniform magnetic field means field induction is constant, such that flux also constant because the area is constant here. And hence what happens, the change in flux linked with the loop is 0, such that current is 0 here. And while comes to this particular point, you have to observe one point. It is coming out of the field. Coming out of the field means the flux is decreasing. Flux is decreasing, nothing but field induction is decreasing. So induced field should be in a way such that net field has to increase. Net field has to increase means induced field is acting inward, and this inward, both the fields are going to be added such that resultant field will be increasing. So induced current will be in clockwise direction here, and here anti-clockwise direction. This is anti, this is uncle, or anti-clockwise direction, clockwise direction. That you need to remember. So this is the one. Hope you got very clear idea about this Lenz's law. Lenz law states that induced current is in a direction such that it always opposes the cause which has produced it. So which is very very important. Now next I am going to explain about Faraday's law, a very important one. Faraday's law. Faraday's law. Don't feel bored. Faraday's law. If it is class and you know very well how I will teach, but here not possible. Faraday's law. So Faraday's law. So one of the important part. Again I am going to give one example, so that it is field is acting inward. This field acting inward. Field is acting inward. This field induction B is acting inward, and I am taking one loop, a closed loop. This closed loop is in an external magnetic field. If for suppose this field is increasing, according to Lenz law, current will be in anti-clockwise direction. Current will be in anti-clockwise direction. So for this, we need to remember one point. If the field linked with this loop is changing or increasing, the current is going to be generated in anti-clockwise direction. Basically, current flows from high potential region to low potential region. Am I right? High potential region to low potential region. So this one results into, simply this one results into like this. See, this wire, 1 minute. Okay, this wire, whatever it, either it is a iron wire or a copper wire or aluminum wire, whatever it is a conducting loop. It is a conducting loop. Every conductor had an characteristic property which is a resistance. So let you consider the resistance of this wire is R. Is the R ohm is the resistance of this wire. So this will be, this wire had a resistance R ohm, and current is in anti-clockwise direction. So here will be positive terminal, here will be negative terminal. So this is the one. Current flows from battery positive terminal. This is called as E, which represent that EMF of the cell. But here it is, there is no cell actually. Physically there is no cell. Current is inducing in the loop only because of the increasing of magnetic field linked with this loop. That means this E is called EMF, electromotive force. Electromotive force is not a force, sir. Again you have to remember that one. Of course you all know that electromotive force is a potential. Electromotive force is a potential. So this point had one potential. Universal law states that positive one is high potential, negative one is low potential. High potential, low potential, potential difference is there such that charges start to drive or charges start to move. So this EMF, electromotive force, the Faraday's law states that Faraday's law gives a physical evidence to calculate the value of EMF. That's nothing but, according to Faraday's law, EMF equal to minus d pi by dt. D pi is what, sir? Rate of change of, this simply means that rate of change of flux. With respect to time, of course, with respect to time only. Rate of change of flux with respect to time will be considered as EMF. EMF is scalar quantity, sir. Again, don't think that this minus sign represent that Induced current always oppose the cause which has produced it. That is what. So here E equal to d pi by dt for n number of turns. If there are n number of turns are there, for suppose if there be a n number of turns are there, n number of turns are there in this loop, for suppose this loop n number of turns are there, then the net EMF E equal to minus n into d pi by dt, minus n into d pi by dt. So basically we can also write this as E equal to we will write this E equal to modulus of E equal to modulus of d pi by dt, modulus of d pi by dt. So this is the important point. So according to Faraday's law, induced